Hi everybody, with GPU prices finally coming down, we decided to get my son Rex an HP Victus 15L. This is the cheapest 3060 Ti equipped computer that I could find. I can't build it for this price, so I decided to go for it. I know it has a proprietary motherboard and has probably a really cheap power supply, but it was only $824, so let me show you what it looks like inside. So straight from the factory, it has these extra cables. Here's an extra SATA cable for an extra hard drive, and here's the power cable. I went ahead and unplugged those so that there's like minimal stuff going on inside the chassis. I figure airflow is better when there isn't things in the way. So for example, there was this hard drive cage sitting in the way here, and I wasn't sure if that would disrupt the airflow at all, so I took it out. There was also this piece right here, and I went ahead and removed it as well. The one modification I did is I put a fan splitter in, plugged in the original fan, and I added this really quiet and slow 80mm fan. I wasn't sure if it would make a huge difference in terms of cooling capacity, but it turns out it dropped my CPU temperatures about 5 degrees in heavy gaming. We tested it for a while in a controlled environment, meaning around the same time, same ambient temperature and everything else. And we found out this fan does nothing for the GPU. The GPU still runs pretty hot. It runs in the mid 80s. I couldn't get it up to 90 degrees Celsius. So I believe the GPU is fine the way it is. The CPU was running in like the mid 70 degree range. And with this addition of a fan, I dropped it down about 5 degrees on average. I took a pretty wide sample playing different games and things, and I took some screenshots and I'll show them on the screen for you right now. So the first one here is no fan with the case removed, meaning this should probably have the best possible airflow, right? Because there's nothing obstructing the airflow. Even the heat that comes up from the GPU could potentially rise out of here. Now, if I could do anything to the case, I would probably get some holes here and mount a fan under to send the hot air out. That would probably make the biggest difference. But this case cover is like riveted on, and I didn't want to mess with it too much. If I could pop this top cover off easily, I probably would have just cut out a circle and then mounted a fan, but it probably wouldn't be too pretty. And it actually looks pretty sweet as it is. So I'm gonna leave it. Now, my PC came with a 256 gig hard drive. So far, it's enough for all the games that we've installed. We have about 80 gigs left on the hard drive. When we run out of space, I'm just gonna add another SSD, and most likely I'll try to think of a creative way to mount it. I might end up mounting it on the bottom of the case here, or I might end up mounting it somewhere sideways like here. But I don't wanna add this guy again, because I feel like it really restricts airflow through the case. Because in my mind, the air is going in through this vent, right? It has this big hole, but stock, it has all this stuff in the way of the hole, right? So really, I wanna optimize this airflow because this is the only source of air into the case. Now, all of this is blocked off, so there's no air coming in from the front, and then there's just one exhaust fan. So I really need to make the most of this airflow in. And so far, I think it's working out fine. Even without this extra fan, the GPU was running in the mid 80s and the CPU was running in like the high 70s Celsius. So that's well within operating range, and it's perfectly fine. I'm not running the fans at a super high speed. I'm just running it normally, and it's keeping up no problem. One thing is, because the intake is on this side of the wall, I make sure I have a couple inches of room between the wall and the PC case, just so that I can maximize that airflow. And I'm gonna go ahead and turn the PC on. Let me remove this stuff out of the way. And it starts up really quick. And that's it, it's booted up. So we just have some of our favorite games here, but I'll go ahead and show you the pictures that I was talking about. So the first picture I'm looking at is with the case completely removed, meaning this side wall is completely removed. The GPU only hits 77 degrees Celsius. the CPU only hits 64 degrees Celsius. Now, the next one is with the fan running and with the case on, I'm down to 67 on my CPU and 84 on my GPU. With the fan off or unplugged, the GPU temperature is the same, but the CPU is about 5 degrees warmer at 72 degrees. But really, this stock temperature at 83 on the GPU and 72 on the CPU, that's perfect. It's not even running hot, so it's really doing well. And the game that I tested this on was Grounded on Steam, and I have it running on 1080p in epic mode with the furthest distances and all that. So this is about as taxing as it can get for the games that we're playing. It runs around 120 FPS and it looks really good. So there you have it. Those were my quick, simple mods on my Victus. I just added a fan and I removed these kind of pieces that I thought was impeding the airflow in the case, and I got it down 5 degrees. I'm pretty happy with it. I don't see it overheating. I hear the fans come on every once in a while. On my Omen app, I just have it on the balanced profile. Now, if I have it on the performance profile, the fans get really loud. I do notice the temperatures drop a couple degrees, but I really don't need it to drop a couple degrees and add all that noise. So I just decided to keep it off. So anyways, there you have it. This is a great PC. So far, we've had no problems with it. It's running great. I added the 16 gigs of RAM, and this was only $47 on Amazon, T-Create RAM. It was plug and play. All I did was pop out the old chips and put in the new chips. I didn't have to go into the BIOS or anything. It recognized it, and it recognized the full speed, 3200 megahertz, and it's perfect. Thanks for joining us today for this quick PC review. I hope that GPU prices continue to fall and we'll be able to pick up some good deals. I'm looking to upgrade my main PC where I do my work at home, so I'm gonna be watching GPU prices every day. We'll talk to you soon. Thanks, bye.